All right, welcome back everybody to Michael's Walk here on YouTube. This is my travel photography station here. So as you can see, I got all kinds of stuff here on this table. I'm taking a trip here, a 2-week trip over to Europe. I'm going to spend some time in Croatia and Dubrovnik, go drive up the Dalmatian coast, spend some time in Plivice National Park before heading to Budapest and ending in Munich for Oktoberfest. So lots getting crammed into 2 weeks, so I thought I would kind of show you how I pack for that kind of trip. Now, it's going to be kind of a what's in my bag type video. I'm going to have some gear stuff. I got some other stuff that normally goes with me, but ultimately what goes in my bag changes based on the kind of trip and the itinerary I have planned. So for a trip like this, where I only got 2 weeks and I'm going to be jumping around to a lot of different locations, the idea is to pack light and smart and still have all the gear and everything that you're going to need to get the shots and the pictures and have a good time and stay dry, stay healthy, and all that good stuff on the road. So we're going to go over all that kind of here today, so stay tuned and we'll see what's in my bag. All right, well, let's jump right into it. So the first things first, we need a bag. So if we're going to pack all this gear for 2 weeks overseas, how are we going to do it? What are we going to use to carry it around with? Normally what I've been using is kind of a combination of the Kelty here. This is the Red Wing 44-liter backpack. It's carry-on size. I've got 44 liters and it's essentially about the same size as a 22-inch rolling suitcase, and you can pretty much get everything in here. I've done it before, and in that case usually what I do is I use an f-stop ICU unit, so I can always put all my different lenses and everything in here, camera, and then I can pack that in there with some clothes and everything like that. But for this trip I think I might try a little something different. As much as that combination works pretty well, I want to test out the Peak Design Everyday Messenger 13-inch. I've had it for a couple months now. I really like the bag. I just don't know how it works for travel purposes. So I think I'm gonna go this route and give it a try and kind of report back and see how well I like it. Now the downside is it only has one strap. So if I'm carrying a lot of heavy gear around all day, one strap could get kind of annoying, especially if you're shooting with the L series lenses. I shoot Canon 6D. Those are heavy, bulky lenses. You can go minimal, but it still weighs a lot. I'm thinking of going this route because I can fit this with my clothes and some of this other stuff in a rolling suitcase. So if I can get it all in one case, then technically only carrying one case around all day as I'm going from airport, train station, and things like that. And then when I get settled, I can always just take this out for the day, take out what I don't need, and it'll be a lot lighter. So that's the route I think I'm going to go with. Weather has been a little, I've looked at the forecast here. I'm leaving in a few days, and the weather forecast is kind of rainy. So if you see me walking around with that pack, it's because the weather kind of deterred me from hauling a rolling suitcase around in that kind of weather. So, but outside of what we use, here's what we put in there. Toiletries. So this is anything from a comb and razor to toothbrush, toothpaste, anti-inflammatories for headaches or muscle pain, prescriptions, allergy medicines, anything like that, hair body wash that you're going to need to stay fresh, clean, and healthy on the road pretty much goes in there. Then I have a pack towel. Pack towel is a nice, this is a large size one. And basically it's a compact, quick drying towel. Not every place you stay will necessarily have free towels or anything like that, so it's nice to have one that you can just bring with you. It's quick drying, so I can use it in the bathroom. It can be used for a beach towel, beach blanket kind of thing. So it comes in very handy and obviously very compact. So then I have a few dry sacks as well, compression sacks, which I can always use to put dirty clothes in or wet clothes in to keep them separate from everything else. This trip, I know halfway through or so, most of the places I'm staying is going to have a washing machine, so I'm going to kind of pack light on the clothes and then wash them halfway. So I got a load of laundry detergent. I got snacks for the road because you never know how long when you're in transit it's going to take you to get to your next meal. So something to kind of hold you over will you know, I get pretty cranky when I get like Joe Pesci when I get hungry. So it's best to kind of keep me fed. So then, yeah, Downy, just some wrinkle releaser stuff. So clothes can get pretty wrinkled. Usually it's not too bad, not greatly noticeable, but in case you get some stubborn wrinkles, of course, that helps kind of get that out of the way. Then water bottle, because that's always important to have water with you as you're going to and from places. I tend to use some of those vitamin C packs where you can mix it in with the water and everything like that. Hopefully keep my immune system nice and healthy on the road. So that always goes with me as well. I got a headlamp. So if you're out in the field and you're shooting sunsets and it starts getting dark and you got a long walk back, a little light will obviously help lead the way. It also helps in hostile situations where you may be in a shared dorm and you don't want to disturb your neighbors coming in late or waking up early or something like that. You need to get around. That way you're not really bugging anybody. Of course, the most important thing, passport. Going to be a real short trip if you don't have this when you're going overseas. Then, of course, I put in here a list of my just general immunizations that I'm up to date on. So if anything ever happens, the doctors know kind of different prescriptions I take and different shots and everything like that I'm up on. That will go in a little travel pouch like this. That will also have a small little wallet, travel wallet that I bring along. I'll have a spare credit card in here and some cash and everything like that. Majority of that stuff will be kept separate than what's on me. So again, not all your eggs in one basket. That way if I get robbed, at least I still have backup. Although traveling is pretty safe. Don't let that discourage you. Then I got a little moleskin notebook that I put for notes and everything like that, and pens. I do have a shot list in here of all the different places I'm going and different kind of shots I want to get, different times of day to shoot them at. Where's the sun, best time for sunset, sunrise, things like that. So always good to keep something like that handy. But that's kind of primarily, besides the clothes and everything like that. Again, I think I said it already, but pack about half a week's worth of clothes, and then I can wash them halfway. I'm probably going to have to switch some of that stuff out, lighten the load a little bit, depending on what the weather looks like here last minute. So that's covered. So now we'll move on to the fun stuff, the gear that I get to bring along. So the fun stuff, the gear. Now, first and foremost, this is going to be the most cumbersome, heavy part of any kind of travel experience. So all this kind of in your pack, you can kind of see like this is a majority of what I'm bringing compared to just the little essentials and the clothes and stuff like that. So this is where a bulk of your weight's going to come from. And the only way to really kind of get around it is probably to go mirrorless. I have been looking into a mirrorless system just so it's easier for travel purposes. I shoot a Canon 6D currently. I have L series lenses. They're quite bulky, quite heavy, and as much as I love them and the quality and everything is great with them, the weight is just getting a little too much. So I am looking into mirrorless, but for the time being, these are my go-to lenses. I'll always use this camera for kind of landscape purposes if I'm general use. Each trip that you take is kind of a little different, so I don't think it's necessarily a bad move to switch to mirrorless if just using it for travel purposes. There's a lot of great mirrorless cameras out on the market, of course, and there are only going to be more. It's the wave of the future, so at some point you got to get on board, I imagine. But for now, so I shoot the Canon 6D. 24 to 105 kit lens is one of the lenses, f4. And then the 16 to 35 f4 wide angle as well. Those are both L series lenses, and they're quite heavy, like I've said. And then I'll be bringing a little prime along, a 50 millimeter fixed lens, 1.8. And this is just so I can get that fast aperture if I need it in specific low light situations and things like that. So between these three lenses, I have 16 to 105 millimeter focal range, so it kind of runs most of the gamut of the length that I should need for travel purposes. I have on occasion brought the 7200 f2.8 with me, but that is a very large lens, probably weighs around 5 pounds at the very least, and there's just not a good use for it. if I'm going to be shooting primarily landscapes and cities, and I'm going to be pretty close to a lot of the subjects that I'm going to be shooting, I can leave it at home. So those are the main, the body and the lenses there. And then, of course, you're going to need some place to put all that fun stuff. So, like chargers and everything like that. So, battery charger. This is just the Peak Design travel pouch, or I think that's what they call it, field pouch. And basically what I'm using it for is just kind of like the accessories and everything like that. So the the battery charger goes in there, a universal adapter, because if you're traveling overseas, you need they have different outlets, of course. So this is a Targus, and basically you can get any kind of, no matter what country you're visiting, you'll have the right adapter for the outlets in that country. So very important to have something like that if you're doing long-term travel. That's a good one just because you have pretty much all the countries in one unit. In here, I will put a majority of my memory cards, a spare battery for my camera, just so they're separate than what I'm carrying on me. I'll also put different chargers and everything like that in here as well, cords and the whole whatnot. So that way, this can be left back in the hotel room. I have everything I need. I have, I'll keep a spare memory card or two in here. I will keep a spare battery in here, and I have the battery in my camera. Usually I'll be pretty good for a day use, and then I switch out the memory cards when I get home, because you don't want all your pictures on one memory card in case it crashes or it gets lost or anything like that. Your whole trip isn't destroyed. The 6D does not have a dual memory card slot, so you got to be smart and think ahead in those kind of situations. I also got my filters. So I have a 6-stop neutral density for cutting down bright lights and getting long exposures in brightly lit situations. Circular polarizer for landscapes and helping out the sky and some reflections, things like that. I have a UV filter, which I never really use, but that's in there. Then I have a square graduated neutral density filter. Now I don't use the whole Lee system with the whole holder on the front of the lens or anything like that. I just tend to carry one around, and if I need to, I will put it in front of the camera lens. I'll kind of just hold it there. Not the best scenario. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's quick and fast, and it kind of works on evening out the highlights of the skies and the darks of the foreground and everything like that, at least to an extent where I can take care of the rest in post. I also have lens cleaner, lens cloths, of course a tripod, the Manfrotto Befree. Now if you saw the last video I did, this does have some limitations to it. You can't use it in every situation, but for travel purposes, I think it's a good contender. I will give it some more testing. I haven't actually used it abroad yet, but it does fit nice and compactly with the messenger bag or in my other pack as well, and it can conceal very easily behind in here or in the side of my backpack down there. So you'd hardly even know it's there. It's 2.4 pounds, and it should work in most situations. Then for my blogging rig, I have another little Manfrotto tripod. This is just a PIXI, just a little mini tripod. I have an adapted cell phone clasp up there, so I can put my smartphone, which I'm currently shooting this video on, in here. And then I can put in the Rode microphone, attach that to the camera and the tripod here, and then I got a mobile vlogging rig. So I haven't tried that yet either, hoping that will work out pretty well. You'll have to take a look at some of the upcoming videos to see how the quality turns out on that kind of stuff. And then of course, yeah, the Rode microphone. This is just a lavalier mic that I'm currently recording into now, but that will go with me as well. Here are my backup batteries, backup chargers again, so this is kind of the stuff that will just go in there, keep it separate from everything else. Backup battery, backup power juice. This is an Anchor. I don't know what model it is. It's got some heft to it, but this thing will hold a charge, or will charge a smartphone probably about 6 different times on one full charge of this battery. It's got 2 USB ports, so I can simultaneously charge 2 different electronics at once, so long as they're USB compatible. And then I got a smaller one for day use, so if I'm traveling around the airport, train station, things like that, I always have at least one full charge on my phone on this one as well. That usually stays in my pocket with me as I travel. Same with headphones. These are just some, I think, House of Marley, if that matters. Earbuds. I like the design of them, I guess, but ultimately they work pretty well. And again, I download, it's good for travel. I download lots of different podcasts, audiobooks, music, things like that. So when you're traveling, it's nice to have a little audio with you. So that can stay on me as well for quick access. And that about covers it, I think. It seems not like a whole great deal of stuff here, but ultimately, when you try packing it all down, it does kind of get a little tricky and it can weigh a lot. So I will show you how we can get this all in there next. All right, so as you can see, we did get it all in there. There's a little bit of a struggle. I did have to open up this expandable zipper part to kind of really get it in there, but keep in mind, having the messenger bag, the camera bag inside is kind of only while I'm at the airport in transit, because I don't want to be carrying two separate bags on me. For the most part, if there is an issue with storing it on a plane, I can always take the bag out, store it under the seat in front of me. So I'm not too concerned in that regard. Pretty much got everything in there I need. As you can see, you can pack pretty light as a photographer and still kind of get by. Again, if I was going to be traveling for longer periods of time, this would probably be a completely different setup. But I am curious if anybody's got suggestions or anything I can improve upon, or things that you would do differently. Please comment below. I'd like to hear back from everybody. And if you find these videos useful, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. As you notice, I didn't bring the laptop, so, well, one, to save space and weight, but two, in 2 weeks' time, I'm just not going to have the free time to kind of edit and on the road or anything like that. So that's staying behind. And then a lot of those videos will be coming when I get back. So be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more immediate updates anyway. But until I get back, thank you for joining me, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side of the pond.